It's me. This is a review of the last two episodes of what the frick? Lower Decks. Okay. So I'm gonna dig in. So trusted sources. So I completely forgot about second contact. I know that that's like a thing that they do and stuff like that. And like, candidly, I feel like second contact is more important than first contact because it's actually like helping them instead of showing up and be like, y'all ready? But it's not really given that much, whatever. So I completely forgot that was like their mission and stuff like that because they like haven't done that in like ever. This is like one of the first times they've done it. So going into it, little odds and ends things like, Mariner coming out with pie and she's just leaking pie everywhere. I was like, Jesus, she's just pie like everywhere. And I was like, okay, are we being cartoons? Are we being funny on purpose that she's so messy and stuff like that or whatever? I don't remember the episode of Ornara and Brekka or something like that. I tried looking it up online and I was like, I don't think I saw this. But I thought it was a very interesting take on addiction. With, codependency and addiction and stuff like that. I'm sure that's what the point of the episode was. And I was like, wow, it seems like I can't recall, Picard being so cold as to be like, hey, cold turkey is how y'all are going to get over this addiction. I thought the mural itself was like darkly funny, where they were like, here's our lives before, and then here's our lives for 10 to 14 years after, and then we recommitted ourselves to like fitness and health and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, that's pretty much, what people do when it comes to like addiction and things like that. But it seemed like it was trying to make light of something dark. So I think it was supposed to be funny, but it was just, it was a little bothersome because it was totally like minimizing addiction. I had a moment I wrote the Kazon speaking clear English. Like, I got excited the moment that I saw that the reporter was like talking to him and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden the Kazon was just like speaking regular English. And I was like, that is not the fun of Kazon. Like, I like him being able to speak only in, his little riddles and stuff like that. And like, he was just speaking perfectly fine and then occasionally using an analogy, which is like how most of us talk. You know what I mean? So I don't like that. Like, make him go back. So yeah, that was just, it bothered me. I was struggling with this episode a lot because first of all, everybody automatically thought the worst of Mariner and like immediately was like super nasty and cold to her. And it was just like nasty. Like Jennifer was mean to her. Her mom was mean, like, and like over the edge, not just a little ordinary. Like, why would you do that? Like, you'd imagine that one of the two of them, who's not named Ransom, would be like, hey, are you sure you're cool here? Like, what happened? What did you do? What did you say? That kind of thing. No, instead they just went all over the deep end. And I was like, is there a squid coming after us that just leads us to like super nastiness? Because this complete cruelty makes no sense to me. Yeah, it was disjointed for me. Like it felt disingenuous, or it felt like I said, I was expecting like something to take them over, to be like, why are they extra so mean to Mariner? I forgot about the brain. Fuck the brain, because they're just the noise they make with the modem and stuff like that. It's just, yeah, that part I like hate. Yeah, the episode was meh. You know what I mean? Like, I guess it was just supposed to be like an episode to show Mariner, going off and doing her own thing or whatever. So it was just whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it was fine. It just, a lot of it felt surreal with how they were doing it. I just didn't agree with the choice. So yeah, like I said, they have to, as a theme, you have to go ahead and point out a problem that everybody needs to solve by the next episode. So yeah, didn't really like trusted sources. It was just like, it just didn't feel legit. So now we go on to the stars at night. Are big and bright, then in the heart of Texas. So I knew Buenamigo was gonna be a dick. I knew it because, like, we gave this dude, like, the Spanish name for good friend. This show is not known for its subtlety. It's very heavy-handed with how it does stuff. So, I knew he was gonna be a bad guy. I really did. I just wasn't sure the level of bad guy that he was going to be. At first, like, obviously he showed up and he is a little dickish, and then as the episode wears on and you find out that he is the one who operated on Rutherford and he did all the Texas class and stuff like that. Yeah, that was just whatever. You know what's weird? I forget how much I like Ferengi until, like, they randomly show up. Human. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh yeah, that's a Ferengi thing that they say all the time. So, you know, Marin are doing the Indiana Jones thing so that she can, like, you know, disrupt the Ferengi is kind of funny. I like the cute little Shax's underlying storyline thing. Like, it seems like it came out of nowhere, but it is what it is. I enjoy Shax's in general, so I'll take any cute little storyline that we can get with him. I liked that his feelings were, like, hurt continuously when it came to things. And then he got, you know, eject the war core. Like, he finally got to do the thing. And his little excited reaction the entire time was hysterical when he's like, you got me do the thing I always wanted to do. And, like, the way he was, like, running in the halls, it was a cute little, it was betwixt and nothing. But I enjoyed it. I found this episode to be very dark. Like, we don't normally watch this much death on the cartoons and stuff like that. I found that they kept having, like, someone, you basically, the camera is looking at someone running away from explosions and then, you know, disintegrating. Like, that's a lot of deaths we just watched on purpose in a cartoon about Star Trek. Like, that's surprisingly dark. And I guess they did that on purpose to pull out the big guns, but it just felt like it was unsettling. Like, I was watching it and I was like, what is happening right now? So, okay. So then we find out, I did, you know, anybody who reads between the lines and stuff like that was going to realize that Mariner was trying to find dirt on, I don't know this chick's name, whoever, this chick to go ahead and, like, leave. And, like, to find out that Picard funds the guild. Like, of course Picard does. Like, that's something random that he would do for, like, discovering of archaeology and stuff like that. It's just, it was nice to be like, oh, so this is not another bad guy. This is actually good, and they're just doing something interesting. I as I'm watching this, I'm like, wow, it's been a really long time since we had a ship fight. Like, it's been a really long time since we were able to have any ships fighting each other. You know, I always, I forget quite constantly that, like, you know, in this show, if they're a specific class, you know, their California class, Texas class, that we're doing it, like, you know, we're naming them after city names. And this became apparently obvious where it was like, oh, does someone on this, like, someone that writes to this have a hard-on for California? Because you listed a lot of cities in California for this. So I thought that was a funny little aside, but it was just whatever. I liked when they went to Phillips, and Phillips was like, I'm giving it everything I can. It was nice little hat tips where it was like, giving everything she's got, Captain. So I thought that was nice. The ejecting the warp core, I had to laugh because I feel like, you know, everybody's always like, let's eject the warp core. And everybody's like, stop it, that's stupid. And finally being able to do it and being like, oh, that's what's going to happen. Again, we're cartoons and suspend disbelief and space and all that stuff. I imagine that ejecting the warp core and going that fast is like slamming into a brick wall. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that it would be the kind of thing that they just tumble out into space. And then I had other questions where it was like, you know, now that we ejected the warp core, I feel like I remember somewhere that they could still move just very slowly. But you have to remind me of that because I don't remember, like, are they screwed where they are? Like, are they stuck there? How did they return? Like, how did all of them find everybody so fast once they just, you know, flew out of space? cartoons, suspend disbelief, hero moment, all that other good stuff. Of course, Mariner to the rescue. We knew that was coming. And it's nice that she finally was like, I'm going to call all of them and, like, save the day and forgive everybody. The only person she didn't really, talk to is Jennifer, but we'll see what happens there. When it ended, I kind of was like, are we done? Like, is that the end of it? What's happening? Oh, okay. So that's the end of the season. This very well could have been like a series finale. I wrote that down, where I was like, are we not sure we're getting another season of this? Because this acted like a series finale instead of a season finale. And I get it, but in the same token, I don't know. Yeah. So, I know that at one point they were saying, like, I hate when a show, like, ends on a cliffhanger. And I was like, I kind of like cliffhangers when it comes to certain TV shows, but that's just me. Anyway, just a thought. So, I didn't really, so this season has not been great. You know what I mean? It just has not been fantastic. And I know that we're supposed to care about the whole,